Welcome back to what can barely be called a layout here, YouTube. I realized I haven't posted anything in like 2 years, and I've got something I figured I'd show you. I pulled out a little project from a while ago. Some of you may recognize this is a first edition Athearn Genesis SD70ACe in BNSF. It was on my layout, and I've done a few things with it, with sound and DCC. A lot of times, I guess all of the time, these locomotives used to come with incandescent bulbs that would then burn out or just really weren't that bright to begin with. So I'll power it up here in a second, but I've been working on a little project here to put new LEDs in. I'll show you some of the wiring I've been doing, and I'll pull it up. I'm debating putting a new decoder in this altogether, but more on that once I get it powered up. Okay, I got it all plugged in. I'm gonna power it up here. Listen to the sounds we've all come to know. A little juice, there we go. So I've already done the work on this. Admittedly, I should have taken pictures and stuff as I went through. But you'll see that looks a lot better than the standard Athearn bulbs. Now you'll see the ditch lights are flashing. I actually programmed that just because I got bored and I liked it. But the sounds and everything work. I actually turned a lot of the volume down just because it's kind of impressive how much sound this thing can make. But as you can see, we've got pretty bright lights on the front. Let's see, I don't know, I think I have them all plugged into the headlight. Yeah, there we go. And they're dimmable. All right, so let's see, I'll take the shell off here and show you what we did, and we'll go from there. Okay, here we go. We are inside the shell now. I actually lost all the coupler boxes and screws and stuff, so it just popped right off. But we're looking at the original Soundtraxx Tsunami TSU AT1000 board that came shipped with these. And everything's the same except I pulled out the old light bulbs. One of them actually came out by itself. The others, I just put a little drop of glue or a drop of water and it loosened up the glue. For the ditch lights, I actually used pliers to pull them off their housing, and again, a little drop of water, and then just pulled the bulb right out. It's nice that they're hollow and everything. So I got the lights out, and then what I did is I went on eBay and got some of these tiny little warm white LEDs. You can probably barely see them. I think they were micro LEDs or something like that. Like $5 or $10, whatever. Got a pack of 10 or 20 of them or something like that. As well as, what is this? Lighthouse LEDs, these 100 resistors, 1 kilo ohm, quarter watt, just resistors, and started wiring them back up to the decoder. So one of the issues I was having, strangely, was that the function 6 wasn't working at all. So I tested it with an original bulb as well as with an LED. When I would press the 6 button to try to control the function, it wouldn't do anything. So I actually put both the ditch lights on function 5, and they seem to be working. So I've got the resistors wired on here to the LEDs. I actually bothered with the shrink wrap tubing, tried to shorten the wires to an appropriate length. Sorry that the shell is on the ground here because I cut it a little too short, I think. But I just took a drop of CA glue inside, regular super glue, or I guess it was some model airplane type glue, and then put the LED in there, and I eyeballed it to make sure that I could see the slightly yellow pad of the LED through the lens. I kind of doubt you can see it here, maybe a little bit. Not quite. And I did that for the ditch lights. Once the glue for the bulbs had dried, then I could put them back on the frame of the model. Same thing for the headlight. Now, funny enough, let's see, this is tough. You can kind of see it in there. The bulbs themselves made the headlight lens, so when the lights are off, it looks kind of funky. I'll probably end up ordering some lens type, I guess, fiber optic tubing or whatever. But again, use some CA glue, and then it's probably hard to see, but here we go, this is good. My lenses keep changing. And as well as a little bit of electrical tape. So CA glue and electrical tape to keep light bleed, as well as just to help hold them in place. And I just used a screwdriver I'm gonna do this one-handed here. I just used this little small screwdriver to slide it around until it was in the right spot. So I was checking through the headlight housing while I was placing the bulb and then just holding it in place until the glue was tacky enough. And then I stepped away from it, didn't breathe on it, don't touch it until the glue dried. So let's see right now. Oh, the other issue I was having was the power supply for basically all of the functions. Headlight, and I don't even have a reverse light on here. The headlight and the ditch lights didn't seem to be working. So if I would use the normal, you know, these front pads are for the headlight and those are for the reverse light, they weren't working when I was using the regular, I guess the positive end on the front pad. So everything is wired off of this plus 14 common power rail. So I have the purple wire, I don't even know if it goes to the headlight or not here, but the purple wire comes off and I have both the bulbs, let's say for the headlight, and then the blue wire comes out of the same, you know, the same plus 14 power delivery spot. And then I wired the ditch lights up to that. And they have their resistors somewhere. Where are those? Got a resistor here. There they are. So actually it looks like blue is for the headlights and purple is for the ditch lights perhaps. Bundled all those up, taped them, waited for the glue to dry. And that's pretty much it. So it was just these micro LED bulbs, some CA glue, a good soldering iron, definitely worth investing in. I think I have a Hakko 888D or something like that, which has worked really well. So let me put this back together and we'll get it on the track and we'll power it up and show off the lights one more time. I'll mention one other thing. As I'm putting this shell back on, the sand filler tubes, I believe they are really delicate on this model. And what I've been doing is I just use a screwdriver to try to pull them out from under the body. Otherwise they end up getting pinched as I close the shell on it. And obviously that's happened quite a bit over the years. They're bent all which and way, and the paint has come off of them. So I'll probably have to repaint those at some point. But just keep that in mind if you are trying to work on your SD70ACe and possibly put some little LEDs in your Athearn models before they switch to LEDs. At least I think they switched to LEDs in the new Genesis. Be very careful of these. Okay, I'm gonna get back to it. Okay, got the shell all back on. I'm gonna hit the power here. There we go. Nope, let's move it so the motor starts. There we go. I'm gonna mute it for a second. The other thing I realized I didn't mention, I just use this wire, just real cheap, small hobby wire. I don't even know where I got it from. It seems to work, although I have been having a power issue, which is why I'm thinking of just replacing the decoder. If I put the engine under load for a while, the Digitrax command center starts acting like it's shorting out. So I don't know if I'm drawing too much power. I know I had that issue before when I was running up to 7 locomotives on the old layout. But this is 1 locomotive on like 6 pieces of Unitrack. So that shouldn't be happening. I don't know if it's an issue with the decoder that's just wearing out, or the other thought I had is since I'm using all those resistors and pulling off that common power rail, I wonder if it's, you know, maybe I got the resistance or something wrong on these and it's just drawing too much power. But I'd be surprised if that's it. So I have that Conrail Dash 8 that I want to try to put a new decoder in, as well as possibly put a new decoder in this one. Just some of these sort of desktop type projects, because I haven't been working on this stuff, obviously, probably for a couple of years now. And it's kind of fun. So again, we've got the lights you can see. Let's see. You know, it's interesting. I have the ditch lights wired on function 6. Oh, you know what it is? I don't have them enabled as an on or off function. I think I have this set to the gyro light setting right now, just because I can. So I'll back it up here a little bit. Amateur hour again with the camera. Get it in focus. There we go. Okay. And back again. I'm going to give it a little more throttle coming forward this time and see if I can get it to trip out power-wise. Okay, I'm just going to jam the throttle forward. Here we go. Oh, and it seems to be fine this time. Who knows? Back one more time. There you go. Tell you what, it looks like DCC is really advanced, and now they got the new ESU lock sound decoders or whatever that have a ton of features and stuff, but this thing, probably, I don't know, 5-10 years old, still does all right. So, there you have it. Power that down. I'm still alive. I still have my trains. They usually just run around the tree as of late, but I think I'm going to start getting into some more of these projects. The soldering has been fun, and having a good soldering station makes it a lot better. Been looking at some comments recently. Sounds like the Intermountain video I did at one point has been a lot of people's first video they remember seeing on YouTube, which, for better or for worse, I guess I'm appreciative and humbled by that. Looking back at most of my videos, the quality is just absolute garbage. So for those of you that have stuck with me, I appreciate it. It's been fun. If you have any questions about DCC or have some stuff you want lights or DCC decoders installed yourself, feel free to reach out to me. I can either help you do it, or I do still have all my tools and I can do that for you. The paint booth is closed for right now, but for DCC installation and trying to do electronics, I'm available and happy to help. So I think this is about it. Thanks everyone for checking in, and I don't know when I'll upload something again, but as the budget permits and I get some new decoders and stuff and work on more projects, I'll try to document it better than I did this one. So thanks and take care all. Bonus clip, I figured out how to get it to short out like I was complaining about. So this is the controller, and when it reaches, it'll start having a small block that goes across, which frankly I forget what that means, but that's what it is. So what I'm going to do is jam the throttle, and then I'll hold it on the track so it doesn't go anywhere. There we go. So now it's at full throttle. And after a few seconds, there it goes. So I got to figure out what that's about. It's probably in the manual. It's as if reading a manual would be a good idea. And as soon as I lower the motor voltage, it's fine again. So, if anyone knows, please leave a comment or something. I'm assuming it's related to the amperage, because as soon as I can command a certain amount of throttle, it starts to freak out. Since some of the pads are bad in the decoder, I'm thinking that it might just be the decoder has some defect, or it's worn out, or it's up its useful life. But we'll see. All right, thanks.